If you believe that manifesting only works when you visualize, script, or affirm, then you misunderstood the whole concept and idea of manifestation. And I'm here to explain to you exactly how to manifest, how it works, and how you can manifest your dream life. Hello, my name is Nadia, and welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be talking about the whole idea and concept of manifestation, why it hasn't worked for you yet, what have you manifested so far, and how you are the only proof that you need that manifestation actually works. The reason why I'm making this video is because I was speaking to my sister earlier today and I asked her what she thinks of my content so far, and she told me that she likes it, but it doesn't apply to her. She doesn't really understand because she's not really into manifesting. She doesn't manifest. That's what she said exactly. She doesn't manifest. And she does manifest, and you manifest. We all manifest all the time, constantly, 24/7. We manifest and create our own reality. And I think that's the problem. I think that's what people don't fully understand about manifesting. You are always manifesting. You are manifesting 24/7. You manifest the good things, you manifest the bad things, you manifest the bad days, bad relationships, stress. You manifest everything in your life constantly. It never stops. And it can be a little bit overwhelming. I do have my notes down here, so I might be looking down sometimes because there is a lot that I want to talk about in this video because I think it's really important. And I think manifesting recently started to be like a trend that people really misunderstand when they say, like, do this is the best manifestation technique. Manifesting is always the same, it never changes. There is no technique to it, it's always the same. The only thing that changes is the tools that we use to change our brain, but I'll get into that in a second. So, what is manifesting actually? It's a state of mind, or actually, it's the reality that follows the state of your mind. So, imagine your life as a mirror. Now, you know life as the 3D reality, what you can see, what you can touch, what you can feel, but there is so much more to it. There is the 5D reality, which is your imagination and your brain. And that 5D reality actually creates your 3D reality. So it's like a mirror. Imagine if there is like a big line. This is your 3D and this is your 5D. So whatever you create here will happen here. You cannot create something and then it doesn't follow, because when you look in the mirror you see the exactly same thing looking back at you, right? So that's how life, the 3D, what we see, mirrors the 5D, which is your perception, your imagination. So the way we manifest the bad things, it's literally just by being in the bad identity and the bad state of mind. If you are constantly affirming that you don't have money, if you live in lack, so you're imagining constantly, I have no money, complaining that you have no money, you can't afford this, your reality will mirror your thoughts in your head and your beliefs, right? And it works the same with relationships. I always attract bad men. I always attract toxic men. I always attract toxic relationships. You will. That's exactly what's going to happen because the mirror will respond to your own head and your own ideas and your own reality. That's the same with just being you. I'm always so stressed. I'm always anxious. Bad things always happen to me. Your reality will prove you right because it simply just responds to your own beliefs. So you are constantly manifesting. It's not something that you can just start doing. Oh, I'm going to start manifesting a good life. You can start manifesting a good life, but you cannot start manifesting. You are manifesting right now, all the time, with everything. Why manifesting good life hasn't worked for you? Two reasons. One, you are manifesting from the wrong identity. So you cannot manifest money while in your head constantly being in lack. You constantly don't have enough money to pay the bills. You don't have enough money to buy yourself whatever it is that you want. You need to start shift your identity to where you want to be so reality can respond. You cannot wait for the money to be there so then you can feel secure. which is really difficult, but unfortunately, you have to feel secure and okay and happy before reality can actually respond, before it can mirror your desires to you. Second reason is that you are not in your desired identity long enough for reality to be able to respond to you. 3D reality is a bit slow. So, if you heard of astral projection or lucid dreaming, you know that when you lucid dream, or maybe you've heard of it, maybe you've experienced it, same with astral projection, you go to your imagination, right? And when you are lucid dreaming, I've experienced lucid dreaming. I haven't experienced astral projection. This is a very intense topic. My body was not ready for astral projection. I could talk about it for a very long time. But the idea of both of them, astral projection and lucid dreaming, is that when you're in that state, whatever you imagine, it happens like that. It's thought and it happens instantly because that's your reality. In 3D, things happen, things move a bit slower because we are here on earth. There is, it's a completely different vibration than the 5D and your imagination, right? So the 3D takes a bit longer to respond to your 5D desires. So the reason why it maybe not have worked for you is because you weren't manifesting. You wasn't in that state for long enough. Because if you have a desire and you only in that desire for a month, or not even a month, because most people give up the manifestations very quickly, the reality just didn't have time to move that quick. It didn't have time to respond to your desire. This is a very good thing that Neville Goddard said, that your manifestations are never late. They will never be late. In the universe, it will never be late. Okay. The only thing is that they all have a different date of arrival. You don't know the date. You just know that it's going to happen. You don't need to know how and you don't need to know when. You just need to know and be 100% sure that it's happening. And it is, because it's happening in your 5D. So you just have to wait for the 3D to follow, but you have to live your life as if it's already happened. So, when the universe is making you wait for your manifestation, it's because you are not living, you are not ready for that manifestation to come to your life. And that's very important. You are not living in the reality. If you are living in lack, the universe is not going to give you money because you are living in lack. Physically, you are constantly imagining that you don't have enough money. And that's so important for manifesting. You have to live in abundance. You have to live in a loving and healthy relationship. You have to be healthy. You have to live in health. Even when your reality hasn't responded to that yet, that's the only way it's going to work. And it's mentally, it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work to be in a bad life as well. So you just have to put in the mental work to create that reality for yourself, because you are also creating your reality right now. You are creating the lack, you are creating the doubt, you are creating the stress. So this is really hard for people to understand, and for me it was as well when I first heard it, because it makes you have to take responsibility. It's like there is no one else you can blame now after hearing this. You cannot blame your job and the system for not paying you enough because you are living in lack. That's you deciding that for yourself. Because if you decided that you lived in abundance, you would have opportunities that wouldn't make you live in lack anymore, because you changed the narrative. So if your manifestations haven't shown yet, they are not late. They are waiting for you to be ready to sustain that reality. They are waiting for you to become the version that actually has it all so they can come into your 3D. And for some people, this is a difficult concept to understand. Like I said, it was for me as well. Like, you have to take responsibility for your actions. There is no one else you can blame. And it's tough. It's tough because every single thing that you had in the past, every mistake that you've made, you now have to take responsibility for. You manifested bad things for yourself by living in bad reality. That's why everyone keeps saying you have to get rid of your limiting beliefs, because your limiting beliefs are creating your reality in a bad way, in a way that you don't want it to be created. So I'm going to give my example. My dad raised me to always expect the worst because it's safe. It makes you not be disappointed. My dad believes he's a realist. He looks at things the way they are, but I now understand that he's actually a pessimist. He always sees the bad version of it, and he is actually just manifesting it. He's manifesting the bad things. But then the few times when my dad actually said, like, oh, let's just not worry about it, things worked out for him because he stopped worrying and he just kind of accepted things as they are without constantly thinking about the worst possible scenario, because that's what he did. And that's what I did as well. So obviously I was following my dad's footsteps. So I was like, I'm going to think like him because it feels safe, right? So you think about life and you think about things and you think, what is the worst possible scenario that could happen? And you think about this scenario and you keep making up even worse scenarios just so you are ready when that scenario happens. And then it happens and you're like, okay, it happened now. That's fine. Like, it's not good. It's a bad scenario, but it's happened. And I knew that. I knew what was going to happen. Well, your reality proves you right every time. It's going to prove you right every time because that's how it works. That's how the 3D responds to the 5D. So you are manifesting lack of money, you are manifesting bad relationships, you are manifesting bad grades because that's what you're telling yourself. So the only way to manifest correctly is to change the narrative. Simply decide where you are, decide what you want in life, and live as you already have it and just see how reality responds. Because I promise you it will respond, but it won't respond straight away. Because just think about it, if you lived 20-ish years in lack, it's going to take time for reality to respond to your new identity. That's why it's so important to stick to that identity. Once you know exactly what you want, you have to stick to that, because otherwise the reality won't have time to respond to your manifestations, and it needs time. The 3D is slower than the 5D. You have to remember that. So all these techniques that you see, visualizing, affirming, scripting, these are not manifestation techniques. Manifestation is always, there is only one technique to manifest, and it's simply deciding. Simply deciding what you want and living as if you already have that. Now, these are tools. So, scripting, affirming, visualizing, whatever, they are tools to help your brain understand that reality. They're not magic. They don't force the reality to become true. They help your brain. They are simply for us. So, there isn't like the best way to manifest, the best way to visualize. It's just whatever works for you, and use that as a tool to help you manifest your dream reality. But you are always manifesting, never forget that. So if you're trying to manifest a dream house and for a second you think that maybe you are not going to get that house, you are now manifesting the bad. If you are manifesting good things most of the time, then obviously reality is not going to instantly give you the bad. But start really catching your bad thoughts, because they are manifesting the bad. You cannot, that's what I feel like some people think, like you cannot like script for 5 minutes a day and then think bad thoughts for the rest of the day, because what is the reality going to respond? Your 5 minute good scripting or your constant bad thoughts? You have to always visualize the good and always visualize what you want and what you have. And that's the only way the reality is going to respond to you. So stop asking how to manifest, because you are already manifesting. You are the proof. Everything you have up to now is what you are manifesting. The only difference between you and the people that have their dream life is that they manifested consciously. They realize that they are manifesting anyway, so they might as well manifest good, because why not? And maybe, if you don't believe me, then maybe the reality will change for you. You can just try it. It wouldn't hurt you if you're going to have a bad life anyway, let's say. You are the creator of your reality. Literally. You are the creator of your reality. Your reality responds to your thoughts. The 3D responds to your thoughts. You have to ask yourself, who are you every day? So, what is the 3D responding to? Who are you being every day? What feels normal to you? And that's exactly what manifests. So, you have to start being conscious about your thoughts all the time. And yeah, use the tools, use the visualizing, use the mind movie. These are really good tools, but they're not the techniques. The technique is one. You manifest when you decide and when you believe. And then use the tools to help you believe whatever it is that you desire.